Welcome to another episode of the Real Men Podcast, episode 5.
On today's topic, we're going to be talking about.
Family, values, and building strong connections.
All right, so the dynamic here is we're going to be asking questions and we're going to be answering back and forth. Remember, guys, we didn't practice or study these questions or improvise. So let's go ahead and see how we do. So we're starting with question number 1. How do you define, prioritize family values in your life?
Well, I define family values as values that are part of a group or as a whole of a single group. Like, for example, you got different values with your friends, you got different family with your you got different values with your family, right? With your friends, you can maybe talk about more random things, and with your family, you're a bit more centered, into being more mature, right? And I prioritize family values in my life when I hang around with them. When there's a birthday, when there's a Christmas, when there's New Year's, when there's any type of celebration, I value the time with my family, and those are the values that I have.
So can you share a specific family tradition that holds special meaning for you?
I can just think of, pushing a family member into the cake when it's their birthday and we're celebrating their birthday. For us, that's like a little family tradition. Not every single family does that. And the reason I think we do it is, first, to have fun, and second, because it's just awesome. It's just great to have fun with your family. I feel that's like a little tradition that we have, because if we talk about birthdays or celebrating New Year's and stuff like that, it's not really a family tradition. Every single person in the world does it. But family tradition is maybe gathering on Sundays, making what we call carne asada, a little cookout in the backyard, in the front yard, just that's a little family tradition that us Latinos have a lot in common with Black people. And that's a specific family tradition that I hold, that holds a special meaning for me, right? Because if you push someone, their face on the cake, that means that you have an awesome relationship with them. That means that you have a great relationship with them, and that it's no harm, there's no wrong or ulterior meaning. It's just the meaning of you having fun and celebrating their birthday.
All right. How do you handle conflicts within the family constructively?
I really don't like having conflicts within my family, and I really don't have many conflicts within my family. But when I do, when my opinion is different, or when my point of view or my perspective is different from a family member, I just try to be as mature as possible. I try to understand their view. I always look. We're always convincing people. We're always selling ourselves, and I always try to get my point across. And we always try to get things done how we want them to get done. So it's a matter of just, if they're right, they're right, right? If I think I'm right, I'm gonna try to explain to them and make them and in their brain do the best I can so they can see the way I see the things. And if they don't, or they don't want to, or they can't see the way I see things, I might do him, or I might do it the way they want to do it, and it's just a matter of having maturity in your heart, in your brain, and just knowing that family and love and your relationship that you have with them is above anything material, any plans you have in this world.
Yeah, and communication, of course.
What role does open communication and honesty play in your family dynamics?
Most important roles, I would say, in a family, especially if you have kids, you have to show your kids to have discipline, and they need to have values that come together with everything that you do. So of course, being honest and showing them integrity since they're as young as possible. The younger they are, the better it would be for them to learn.
The sooner you teach them, the better for them, right?
Yeah. Talking about that, my wife is calling me. Hold on. Hey. Hey, what happened? Well, I'm already out, but I'm over here with Sammy, remember? Yeah, you're actually going to be in the video.
You're gonna be in the
We're
video.
still recording right now.
Say something.
Better. Yeah. What happened?
You will.
We'll see.
Drop a like if you think she's pretty.
Okay, we're still almost done. I'll call you. See you in a bit. You guys can eat already if you want. All right, thanks. Bye.
Talking about strengthening family bonds.
All right, you always have to answer. Always.
You share a memorable experience that strengthened your family bond.
My daughter and my son. Having kids with in a relationship, especially if you're married, definitely ties a knot in your relationship as a couple, and it makes you guys be stronger, and you learn as you go. You never stop learning, and I think those are two experiences that are that you're never going to forget.
Discuss the importance of spending quality time with family members. Why is it so important?
The answer is within the same question. It's family. So family, you will only have one mom, one dad, one brother. So you always have to do your best to spend quality time with each individual one, especially because you never know what could happen in life. There's so many things that could happen in life, and you have to take advantage of the moments that you have now. Maybe a year from now, a month from now, you might not be with them. So you have to value everything that's around you, especially when it comes to family, since it's the most important thing.
Got one of them. One of each person that you have around you, there's only one of them.
How do you instill values such as respect and empathy in your family?
I have a little brother, right? So I just do example. I just try to do example, because if I tell him what to do, obviously, if I tell him the right way, he will listen. But it's not even about that. It's about just being an example. You know how when kids are little, they don't really do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. They just copy you. So, even though my brother is an adult, just like me, and we're both adults and we have a brain of ourselves, I just always try to lead with example, do the best thing I can possibly do, take the best action possible, and that way I get respected, and that way if I respect myself as well, I'm able to respect others. And obviously, the way I practice empathy is that if there's through love, through love and through common sense. If someone is going through something, I try to help them out. I cry with them when they're crying, and I'm happy with them when they're happy.
Share insights into the balance between independence and family unity.
Oh, that's a really good question. I think independence is it's different for everyone, right? I'm independent, and I can still live with family, right? Because I have my own job, I pay my own bills, I buy my own food. It could be however you want it, but if you're not expecting anything from anyone, if you're not expecting people to do the things for you that you need to do for you, then I feel like you're independent. However, you do need to have one thing that you can do with your family, like how I was mentioning Sunday cookouts, maybe a project you have in mind. That's part of a family unity. Have a little side hustle together, something like that. It's always amazing, and it's empowering in your heart. And the connection gets stronger, and you work, you pay your bills, you buy your clothes, you pay everything you need to pay for you to have the life you live. However, you still do things with your family, and you make sure that your family also advances What practices or rituals contribute to a strong sense of connection in your family?
Going to the gym together with my wife, taking the kids to the park as a family, going to church, doing as many things as possible as a family definitely brings us together, and it's always going to give memorable memories to the kids. They say the first years of the kids are the most important ones because those are the ones that is going to shape their attitude and their character once they become young adults. So I think that's definitely something important to keep in mind with your own family.
Amazing, yeah. And if you guys even notice, those are things that you don't even spend money on. So if you're broke, stop making excuses. Go to the park, watch a movie. Go to church, talk to God, and tell Him excuses. There's no excuses for you to have a good time with your family and a good connection with them. Can you discuss the impact of shared goals and aspirations within the family?
If your wife or your kids have something to aspire to, and you help them, you help them push towards that, I think definitely that brings a bond within the family itself. It makes everyone else feel united, and it also brings satisfaction to everyone when that goal is achieved.
Okay, so when you achieve a goal with your family, it's a greater sense of satisfaction than when you achieve it with yourself. How do you navigate generational differences while maintaining family unity?
Of course, it's always going to change. It's always going to change. The whole goal of being a parent, if you're not a parent, you still have to find a way to make your generations to come a lot better. But especially if you're a parent, you could see how your parents and your grandparents have came so far, and you have to correct whatever they didn't do right in their generation. You would have to correct those mistakes and just try to do your best to continue to fix as many things as possible, so that way you don't pass that on to the next generations. It's something really difficult to do, but it's something that has to be worked on a daily basis. Share a story where family support played a crucial role in your endeavors.
Okay. Well, what can I tell you? I mean, I have a little business here. I have a little business, and to put my business, I saved up some money. A couple $1,000, not that much, just a little bit. I told my sister if she wanted to invest with me, and she invested a percentage, maybe a 20%, and and I'm giving her a percentage of the earnings, every single month, and it's just the simple fact. Obviously, I had to do my part, explain things well, give her a little presentation, sell her on my idea. But at the end of the day, her heart was in the right place. And if you don't want to do something because it's a stupid idea and you don't want to support it, that doesn't mean that your heart is in the right place. What I'm saying is that I was able to explain myself correctly, and that she believed in me as her brother. And because of that, I also instilled more confidence within me, and I actually went and did it, and we're both making money now.
Of the importance of creating a supportive and nurturing family environment.
Mm-hmm. Well, like how David said, it's very important, right? It's very important because at the end of the day, you have your job, you have a business, you have friends, you have social media, you have all these things tackling you, you have all these things attacking you with problems,
distractions,
and distracting you from real life, from working hard. And you gotta fix everything. Anything comes at you, you solve it right away. So the fact that you come home to your family and there's even more problems, oh yeah, that's gonna kill you. That's gonna break you. You gotta make sure that your family is the resting place, the place of peace. That that you can go back home and restart to tomorrow. rest it out, take a shower, talk with your wife, you know, spend time with your kids and reset, and tomorrow will be another day. You know, you cannot be threatening going home when you already had a bad day at work or a bad day in the real world. You know, you gotta be like, oh man, you know, it's my safe place, right? How do you handle challenges that arise from external influences on your family? Like not problems within your own family, not problems,
but
just
other
like
influences. Yeah, like
external situations.
Yeah, it could be people, it could be social media, it could be videos on YouTube. I mean, I try to close out as many things as possible, and I do my best for myself and my family not to be influenced with the outside, and then keep your circle tight. If you have snakes, make sure you cut your grass short, so keep all those negative people out of your life.
Can you share a lesson learned from like that you applied resilience?
I would say I'm living it right now. I would say being alone with your family and taking a day at a time, making sure that you focus on what's important and try to let box out everything else that your thoughts tell you that are negative, and just focus on your family and focus on the things that you need to do for the better of yourself and the better of your family. And that's pretty much it. Sometimes you just have to block everything out and just focus on what matters. These do you use to strengthen sibling relationships with your family?
Honestly, I could answer all of these questions with God, because I just ask God, hey, you know, fix my relationship with this person, and He'll do it right away. Obviously, after that, I take action, you know. So the strategies I would use to strengthen my siblings' relationships is just trying my best. I think that's the best strategy possible. They might be more mad at you than you are mad at them, and you're the first one to go talk with them, and they're still mad, and you know, it's okay. You gotta actually try, you know, oh, leave me alone, and you're like, well, whatever, I don't care about you. That's not actually trying. That's just seeing, you know, if that's just being like, you know, oh, I tried, you know, and just having an excuse to leave. But no, you gotta actually try. And I guess my best strategy is just communication, love, and you know, simply just taking action and actually trying, you know, actually trying on whatever you do. You can play a video game together, you can build a business together, you can build a project, you can talk it out, you can go drive, you can have a competition, whatever you do, you gotta try and actually have a good relationship with them. There's really no secret, because everyone has different relationships with their loved ones, but you know when you actually do put in an effort, and you know when you actually give up before you should give up.
Role of forgiveness and understanding in maintaining family harmony.
Yeah, it's just what I said before this question. I pretty much said I talked about forgiveness. The only way you can actually forgive is if you love someone.
Okay.
You know, and you can forgive technically a stranger, even though you don't love them. But there's different levels of love. You know, I can love a stranger because I'm doing no harm to him, and I can love my brother because I have him for eternity, and he's my blood, and he's actually, you know, the person he is. I love the person he is, or my parent, or my dad, or my brother-in-law, or my sister, or my mom, or whatever. And, you know, however, besides that, if you don't love a person, you might still be able to forgive them. You know, but it's a bit more difficult. However, the role of forgiveness and understanding and maintaining family harmony is one of the most important roles, because we all mess up, we all make mistakes, we all say things that might make someone else feel weird or feel bad, and we're all different, and someone might think that they're doing something good, and you might get offended because you're going through something in life, and you might think they're a bad person, but they're just living their life, and they're just doing the things they need to do. And you get offended without them noticing. They don't even know you're mad at them, and they think everything's okay. and you go over there, you start a fight with them, and you know, and now they feel hurt, like you offended them. So I think the role of just forgiving and loving and understanding, and trying to have analyzing everything with a better perspective and understanding, it's just a practice. You know, we can never be perfect, but we can get better at it. How do you maintain connections with extended family members over time?
One that a lot of people over time, over the years, because of their own problems or life or whatever the case may be, tend to forget and tend to like just get away from everything, and little by little you lose that type of connection. So what I normally try to do, whether it's friends, family, cousins, I normally try to check in on them from time to time, a little message here and there, just to check how they're doing. And I could tell you not that many people do the same thing. I could only think about maybe one or two persons that do that with me, you know? So like I think if you had really good friends or brothers or cousins, take a little bit of time off during the week just to check up on them, send them a quick message just to see how they're doing. That goes a long way. You have no idea how you can make them feel.
Discuss the impact of shared values on decision making within the family.
Communication is key, whether it's your brothers or your wife or your girlfriend. I think it's important to have communication and making sure that you guys are both on the same page before you make any type of decision.
Can you share advice for fostering a sense of belonging and security in the family? How do you balance individual pursuits with family commitments?
Just try to make time for everything. You have to structure your day, your week, your weekends, structure your time wisely, so that way you could focus on your personal goals, and that way you could also set time for your family. It's not something easy to do. It's easier said than done, but I think we all have to find a way to make it happen. It will be different for everyone in general. It's not going to be the same thing. Of course, we all have different schedules, different jobs, different responsibilities. So you just have to work with what you got.
Share insights into the impact of family traditions on shaping your identity. Your family traditions have shaped, or traditions or celebrations or habits that you have with your family. Or certain dates or certain dates, do you think they have affected your identity? Like, what's the impact of the family traditions into your identity?
I mean, the impact is, of course, it's a good impact. If you keep important dates, your anniversary, your kids' birthdays, any special days that you have, if you always remember to show gratitude every year for those specific dates, I think it just shapes the way that you feel and how you see life, and for your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you don't celebrate your anniversary, then your identity might be a broken, part of a broken relationship, and your identity might be a forgetful husband. And if you do celebrate it, your identity will reflect a loving husband, and you'll have just a better life out of it.
How do you navigate transitions and changes within the family structure?
Well, I think you gotta stick together. Regardless of what happens, regardless if your cousin all of a sudden is a millionaire and you can't make jokes about him, and you can't bully him anymore because now he'll actually talk back to you, or just little examples like that. Like, I don't know, the way a family structure can work is when a new person comes in. Like, for example, when your brother, like in my situation, I have a brother, and we would spend a lot of time together, and now, well, And I used to tell him, I used to, we talk as men, how we talk as men when girls are not around. We have obviously manly conversations, and when you're with the boys and there's no girls around, you can say some funny stuff, Girlfriend, now I have to be more respectful towards him because obviously I want respect, respect. A girl needs to respect her man, and if I used to tell my brother, hey, what's up, you ugly fat ass, I can't tell him that anymore because I need his girlfriend to respect him. And it's just that part of the family structure changing. You just gotta stick together and you gotta be smart about it. Like,
You discuss the importance of actively listening to each other within the family.
well, if you don't really listen, if you don't listen to each other, then there's pretty much beats the purpose. There's no communication. There's no love. There's no what's it called? There's no like a good vibe, because you're not listening to each other. Someone's talking to you, you're ignoring them, or if I'm talking to someone, they're ignoring me. I'm gonna have resentment, or they're going to have resentment. There's gonna be problems I think if everyone listens to everyone within the family and we value our opinions from each other, we can do great things together. The role of gratitude in fostering positive family relationships.
Always showing love and always showing mutual respect and showing that you care.
How do you maintain connections with family members who live at a distance?
Well, it goes back to the same question we had earlier. So you just have to find a way to send a message, do a video call randomly. I like calling people randomly, friends, cousins, just to see how they're doing.
Okay.
And of course, if they're busy, well, you call back later. But
I was about to say, call people randomly, just get a random phone number. Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
I got the number from the corner.
I like calling people that I know randomly. So that way, I don't know, it's a good sense of emotional connection.
Like a surprise.
Yeah, it feels like a surprise, especially if you haven't seen them in a long time or they're far away. That's the best thing that you could do because you never know what could happen. We're here now, tomorrow, who knows?
Discuss the significance of respecting individual differences within the family.
Yeah, regardless of their perspective, the way they dress, the way they carry themselves. It's just showing respect, period. You can't control how anyone, whether it's the family or not the family, how they dress, how they talk. You just have to show mutual respect, and that's pretty much it. You respect everyone else with their perspective on life, and just always try to give your best opinion and your best way of thinking to everyone that's around you. Not everybody's going to love the way you talk and the way you carry yourself, but it's okay. Not everyone's supposed to like everything you do. If everyone's the same, everyone thinks the same, that's kind of boring. Share a lesson learned from a moment of vulnerability within the family.
I always try to be a leader. I'm always trying to do the best to be a leader and to be the voice of reason, and always trying to actually be of value to people. However, there has been a couple moments where I actually humble myself and I ask for help, and I actually accept advice and people, and actually taking really into importance of what they have to tell me. And it's just a sense of peace within me, because it's like I don't always have to be the person that's right, I could also accept that I might not have the best idea, and that I need help from someone. And and that experience is kind of liberating as well, because you also give certain people the power, and you don't always have to be a person that's that's trying super hard and everything. And you can actually have passed the baton to someone else at certain points. Obviously, you are still the CEO of your life. You fire and you hire accordingly. However, even CEOs have mentors, and even CEOs take advice from people they really care or they love or they admire or they respect. Share advice for creating a strong family foundation that withstands challenges.
Trying to be as optimistic as possible. Not everyone has that trait. It's not easy to try to be always trying to stay positive regardless of what you got going on. But I think having that type of foundation, having that type of mindset in your family just makes everything a lot smoother. Like I said, it's not something easy to do, but it's something that we should always be working on and trying to reach.
So the foundation, the foundation is just like having a great attitude and being positive. That's like a strong foundation that if you fall, if there's a challenge, you fall back on that. You fall back on staying optimistic and just being grateful that you have your family and
being optimistic, being disciplined, having values. All those three things attribute to a better person, and at the end of the day, I think it will give you better results than being negative and being pessimistic.
What legacy or values do you hope to pass on to future generations within your family?
Some of the most important values that I will pass on, and I will do my best to do so. I would say discipline, making sure that regardless of what you got going on, you're always going to show up and you're always going to make things happen regardless of how you feel, whether it's in a work environment or outside of work. Being
pretty much like being responsible.
Yeah, being responsible. That's something that I feel a lot of new generations are falling off on. Being responsible, being a man of your word. Whenever you say something you're going to do, stand on what you say. I think that's something in the older generations that they had. Like if you shook on, if you made a deal and you shook on it, like that was it. There was no going back on it. Even if you lost or anything, they followed through with that deal. And nowadays, if you shake on something, it's easy to say, nope, I don't want to do it no more. Yeah. And those type of values are little by little are fading away.
Now you need contract because people's words are worthless sometimes.
Yeah. People's words are garbage. I mean, they could say a million things. It's like a snake. They could just tell you in your ear everything that you want to hear, but when it comes down to it, they'll just back out.
That was an amazing answer, guys. And this was another episode of the Real Men Podcast. This was a very, very difficult episode because it's always difficult to talk about your family. We want to keep them anonymous because we are social media. We are public figures, pretty much. We're throwing ourselves out there, And you want to mess with us, but not with our family. Because real men, what real men do for their family. So, a very difficult subject, very difficult topic, very difficult conversation. We made it through. We answered all the questions. We provided the most valuable to our best of our capabilities. Hopefully it helps you guys. Drop a like. Please follow us. And thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time.